directly in front of you and not to the side or high up. So I've just shown you what not to do, and now you notice the difference when I'm speaking from the two, so therefore, there we are. Do as I say, not as I do. As many parents have often done. Right then, first item on the agenda is apologies. Howard, please.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Committee. We have apologies from Councillor Hedges-Serafin, Councillor Keithley and Councillor Rolfe. We have Councillor Jenny Fradgley substituting for Kate Rolfe.
Yeah. Nothing from Councillor Littlewood. Oh, no, Malcolm. Councillor Rice. Councillor Rice. Anything from him?
No, I haven't heard from Councillor Rice. I'll follow up with him after the meeting.
Yeah, brilliant. Sorry, Malcolm.
I have apologies from Councillor Rice.
Ah, thank you, Councillor Johnson. Oh, I know if I... a cunning plan there. You think we make this up as we go along, wouldn't you? Right then, item number 2, disclosures of interest. Again, the usual disclosure of interest at each meeting. Any disclosures on this item that we're going to be talking about, apart from the usual ones that we've had at previous meetings? I think we can take those as a standard disclosure. Everybody happy with that, Mason? Brilliant. Thank you. So we'll move on to item 3. The site visit, to consider a proposal for a site visit to the Allen Badger Hospital and Shipston-on-Stour to inform the scrutiny session with the South Warwickshire University NHS Foundation Trust, which was going to be on the 2nd of July. Is it now the 2nd of August?
The 27th of August, they've confirmed they're going to be attending now.
27th of August.
Yeah, there's an unavoidable clash on their part with the board meeting.
So again, if members could know that. Councillor Wally Hoggins, would you like to start on this one, please?
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody for being here today, because as you know from the emails that you've received from me, it is at my request that we're meeting today to try to come to an agreement to do a site visit to the Allen Badger Hospital. I'm sure that we're all aware that the Allen Badger Hospital has been an agenda item and has been fairly prolific in the press recently. Well, over the last several years. I went to visit the Allen Badger Hospital with a fanfare of please come and visit. I'm not sure if anybody else here has managed to visit the hospital already. However, it was a very limited visit that I was able to have because there were certain areas that were verboten and forbidden, but I'm requesting that we arrange a site visit because I'm so alarmed by what I've seen. I can go into detail if the committee would wish us to do so. But what I will say is fundamental to this is the amount of money that we have earmarked and for the Allen Badger Hospital, and in conjunction with the amount of money that has also been earmarked for the doctor's surgery in Shipston as well. And I think that if we're going to have Swift or coming to speak to the committee about the Allen Badger Hospital in particular, that it would be very, very useful to actually go and see the building so that we can provide better scrutiny of them when they come to see us. If you require any more details, I'm happy, or thoughts from me, but I've given you the overview of that. And I think that although I don't have an up-to-date figures for it, I think that in the region of £2 million for both. I mean, I'm happy for you to come back to me. There's a very big chunk of money, I believe, for the hospital, and a similar sizable amount of money for the doctor's surgery. And that is really, I think, is one of the purpose of it coming to scrutiny, is because, you know, this is a lot of money here, and I'm really concerned, and you all know me very well. I'm very concerned by what I've seen there, and I think I could have written letters to the Herald, as many people have done, or done articles, but I think it's far more powerful for this council, with the cross-party committee, to go and do the visit and to see all 3 floors of the Ellen Badger Hospital, including voided areas. And if we need to wear hard hats, then we need to do so. And we need to make it very clear that that is our desire to do so. So thank you for listening to my brief introduction. If you require any further details, I'm happy to do so, although I'm not sure that it serves much purpose given the fact that they're coming to Overview and Scrutiny Committee on the 27th. And I think we'll have very detailed questions after that. But as I said, I'm happy to give more, but I am grateful that we've come today for an extraordinary meeting to agree the site visit, and I wouldn't have done so had I not been really, really alarmed by what I've seen. Thank you.
Councillor Alcock, please.
Thank you, Chair. Can I propose that we request from the Ellen Badger Hospital say 3 dates where councillors can go for a site visit? Can I also request it isn't just limited to members of OSC, because actually I believe this has far-reaching consequences for audit, for actually the council as a whole, for our reputation. So it should go out to all councillors for a site visit. If we ask for 3 dates, we can organise it and go before the August 27th meeting. Thank you.
I'll just bring Mr Buckland in.
Yeah, Chair, we've called the meeting today because the committee has to determine whether it wants a site visit or not, and that would be restricted to the members of this committee. We're being asked to scrutinise effectively a decision of the Cabinet. So the Cabinet allowed, and it was circa £1.5 million, about £1.5 million for the 2 elements, for the hospital, and I think it was about £500,000 for the doctor's surgery, around those kind of ballpark figures. So no, it would be appropriate just for the members of the Review and Scrutiny Committee to attend that particular briefing. And I will say, I know Tony, before his mishap, has had conversations, and Swift are very happy to host a site visit. So from that perspective, that'd be very positive. They would give a presentation, they would give a tour. I'll take back the comments that had been discussed about making all floors available within the building. But yeah, sorry, Victoria, it would be just for the members of the committee. They're the ones that will be scrutinising on the 27th of August.
Do you want to come back, Councillor Alcock? No. Councillor Bascom, please. Then Councillor Johnston and Councillor Ford.
Sorry, I have realised that I probably ought to have expressed an interest in that I'm on the Beds for Badger committee that's been campaigning for beds. In terms
I think
of,
we covered it in sort
yeah,
of
we
like
have,
the general
haven't we? Yeah.
one. And
Yeah.
I've got no issue with that,
But,
Councillor Bascom.
I mean, I think to me the main issue is the cost of the building and the fact that there was plans agreed by the district council for an extra building, which was a hospital with beds. But on the issue of the SIL money that has been allocated, I know the £900,000 has gone to the Swift already for the health and wellbeing element of that building, but there's this £500,000, and I think it was 2 weeks ago that the doctors at last agreed to move into this building, but it seems on a rented basis, and the £500,000 was allocated for them to have a new building, which they'd actually drawn up plans for. They'd got full architect's plans for another building. Well, that's as I understand it. So I think that's an element that we really ought to scrutinise about whether because that £500,000 is still being discussed at the Cabinet, isn't it? I think whether that should actually go to the doctors or whether the...
I think
I'll just bring...
could we just restrict the debate at this point
Yeah.
about whether the principle of a site visit is supported or not?
Okay.
There'd be
But
plenty
I
of
think that
opportunity.
needs to be borne in mind when we go around the
So,
building.
yeah, I think it is important, and I think the whole purpose is I think we do need a site visit, and I'll declare my position that. I will bring you in, gentlemen. I do realise that I've been waiting, but I think I think that the one, establish that we do want to go, and two, establish the reasons for going. You know, a fact finding, we're going to see it, you know, see it, it's different when you see it face to face than talk about it here. It may then prompt some questions for when Swift come in on the 27th, because Councillor Bassing, you might say, well, when I was on floor 3, it's supposed to have this, this and this, what's happened, you know, that way it's adding more weight to your question because you've seen it firsthand as opposed to hearing it anecdotally from somebody else. So I think that's one of the reasons why we should be doing it. We can use it to prepare for questions for when they come in on the 27th, and again a fact-finding one. And we could then, I assume it'll be an accompanied visit by Swift. They wouldn't just let us wander around willy-nilly, as they say. And again, if we can request that the persons or people accompanying us know their subject as well, and are able to answer questions whilst we're going around. So it wouldn't just be oh, here's this, thank you, and on aisle 2 is this. Here's so-and-so, and this is what we do here, and that's what's been funded by so-and-so. If we could have some, I think it would make the visit better if they provide the appropriate people to come around with us, rather than just...
Yeah, I just think it's something to be borne in mind for the committee when they go round.
Can I just bring these two in, and then if you want to come in? Yes, no, don't panic, Councillor Johnson.
I think Mr Buckland might have answered my question, but I didn't quite hear what he said. I see really very little point in a site visit alone. It might be worthwhile visiting when someone is with us who can explain what this building is going to be used for. There are lots of frustrations. There are lots of frustrations here. I have to confess, 40 years ago, I was the Deputy Divisional Director of Social Services in Stratford. We were discussing even then the future of Ellen Badger. And I find it staggering to come back 40 years later to find a significant amount of money, all sources, some district councils, some others, when there is no clear purpose, and we do not know what this is going to be used for. So I think we need to know what it's going to be used for, who's going to be with us, and I'm really not sure it needs to be just overview and scrutiny. I do think it should be open to, they should issue an invitation that's more broadly than just us.
Well, one, I think you just repeated a lot of things I've said earlier about having the appropriate people round with us to answer the questions, not just looking at aisle 2 and level 3 and item number 1. So I think that's been cleared, and I think you've backed that up what I was saying. So I think when Howard writes to them requesting some dates, and I think Councillor Alcock's suggestion of 3 or 4 dates when when they can accommodate us is a good one. And when we write to them, can we say yes, we would need competent people who know the area and are able to answer questions. That can be made clear in our request to them. I think we've had the advice from the Chief Officer, Chief Executive, Chief Operating Officer or Chief Executive, whichever name, Mr. Buckland, about the Scrutiny Committee. I disagree with you that I don't think it should be open. I think we've had requested this special meeting. Whether, if people can't attend, they want to send a substitute who's had the training but happened to be a member of another committee, that might be an opportunity for other people to come. But, I'm happy to stick with the advice from Mr. Buckland that this is an OSC meeting. We're scrutinising them on the 27th of August, and the whole purpose of the scrutiny and the visit is to make sure we can ask meaningful questions and find out things first-hand rather than anecdotally. Councillor Littlewood, do you want to come in, please?
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I totally welcome the opportunity for a site visit. I have taken the trouble over the last a couple of years to look at the drawings from the planning application, etc., and seeing what's being done there. And I do recall from the last time we had ICB, I think it was Swift, I can't remember, who came in and we asked about how they were going to use the facility, and they did not know, which was a surprise. So I think it's on the minutes, so it should be on the recording. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What is important is this from the residents' point of view, and I don't just mean the residents of Shipston, I mean the residents of the district point of view, that they see that we are conducting due diligence, we're using their money. I'm going to approach a site visit should this debate agree that that is going to be the case, and it can be arranged. I'm going to approach that with an open mind and not being predetermined. I'll have some questions and I'll view the site in more detail than can possibly be done through looking at architect's drawings. I think there's been such a lot of publicity around this issue. There's a lot of information and perhaps some misinformation as well regarding the site. And I think certainly the residents of Shipston will be expecting us to take a look, and we can then give an informed response to questions. We can have, more importantly, ahead of the next OSC where they're attending, we can ask informed questions, and I think it's extremely important that we are in that position. With regards to opening it up to other members elected members of this council, well, I can see where you're coming from, but, and it's a big but, there's no point in having an overview and scrutiny committee if you're going to let everybody do the overview and scrutiny. I think we have been given that charge to go and look on behalf of this council and refer back and report back as we see necessary, and I think that should be the reasonable way of doing it. So no, I think it should be members of this committee only. Thank you.
Councillor Wally Huggins, you want to come back in again?
Just to say, with regard to visits, it was very exceptionally well publicised that there were open days at the Ellen Badger over a week-long period. So the opportunity's already been there, and I took that opportunity to go. I think that we need some. I think we do need to scrutinise the two parts of the money. I was unaware that there was a separation of the money for health and well-being purposes as well as hospital purposes. Unless that's can somebody confirm that to me, what that money is earmarked for? And again, the doctor's surgery, really, because I was at the same meeting that my fellow councillor was at with the doctor's surgery in Shipston. Really, they're renting those rooms while they refurbish their own building. So there is no permanency with regard to the use of that building. As I said, there's a cumulative issue here of things that have come to my attention that has made me want to request this site visit here with regard to taxpayers' money that's been allocated. Because, you know, taxpayers are not cash cows, I'm afraid, and we do need to be there. And I think that if you ask for 3 visits so that we can all attend in dribs and drabs, it's going to be pretty difficult, actually, because it doesn't have the same gravitas as it's almost like, oh, well, who's turning up? I think we could have potentially have 3 dates given that we could all attend on, and then we can say which is their preference. But to have somebody on standby from Swift with the gravitas that is required to talk us through that building is some ask, really.
Yeah, so I think the 3 dates from them, and then we choose the one where most can attend, and if everybody can't attend to the committee, if the people not able to attend would be able to provide a substitute to ensure that we had the numbers on to go. Councillor Johnston, please.
I just want to come back on the notion that this should be only overview and scrutiny. We will be having our committee meeting on the 27th of July.
August.
That'll be when we'll be asking questions. This is simply a visit to inform us of what the current state of play is, and there seem to be a number of, I don't know, Councillor Passingham seems to have suggested it's going to be the new medical centre. Sarah Wally-Hoggins says it's only going to be temporary. The situation, we need to have greater clarity on exactly what it's going to be used for, rather than just see a shell of a building.
Absolutely, Chair. And I know, as I said to Tony before, his mishap had already been in discussion with Swift. They're very happy to give that tour and the explanation about the long-term use of the facility. And I think, as the Chair mentioned at the very beginning of the meeting, that can then help inform the questions that you will put to Swift when they come here formally on the 27th of August. So it's, I think the fact-finding is exactly the same as when you're considering a planning application. You go on site, you have a look at the site, and then that helps you with the debate and the formulation of your questions. What we have done in advance of some of the other meetings, of course, is Howard collate your questions in advance to help with the decision-making process, so we can actually put that to Swift, so they'll have prepared answers rather than put them on the spot of the meeting. But look, I think one step at a time. I think the suggestion is we approach Swift, we get 3 dates, and then I'm looking at Howard again, find the date, do a doodle poll of who can make that meeting or those particular dates.
Yeah, and the big caveat as well is that they have to have somebody on the date we choose that's able to answer our questions. Yeah, whether it's one or
I think
a competent, a competent person who can answer a significant amount of questions in detail as well. So I think that would help. So I can imagine it wouldn't just be one person. So I think we're gradually getting to a proposal that we have a site visit. We ask for 3 dates from them, and then we do the usual administration around them to try and get the most appropriate date for most of the members here, acknowledging the fact that we might not get 100% attendance from over in Scrutiny Committee, but if that is the case, those places then will be open to substitutes nominated by the person who's not able to attend in the usual way. The whole purpose of the visit is fact-finding and to speak to people, to see things on the ground, and also use the visit as a basis in preparation for when Swift come in on the 27th of August, so we can ask meaningful questions about what is going on, based on what we've seen, based on facts and evidence rather than anecdotal. So I think there are sound, valid reasons for the proposal. I think it will be beneficial, and obviously I think it's in the terms of reference of over in Scrutiny that we do this, considering the amount of money involved and the purposes involved. So hopefully that summed that up. I know that Councillor Orcock and Councillor Wally-Hoggins have got some form of a proposal between the two of them, and are you happy, Councillor Orcock, to authorise it? Propose the, and or do you want a joint one between yourself and Councillor Wally-Hoggins? Proposal between yourselves, because I think that's fair. Then Councillor Wally-Hoggins brought the site visit proposal to our attention. If you want to say it's a joint proposal between yourselves, and why don't I propose it and Victoria seconds? Are you happy with that, ladies? Yes. Yeah, I was trying to be politic for once. Yeah, politic with a small p. Councillor Wally-Hoggins, do you want to come in? I think I've sort of like half summarised the purpose of the visit, but if you want to add something to that.
I'll just say that we have I propose therefore that we have a site visit
Microphone, please, yeah.
Thanks. I propose therefore that we have a site visit to the Ellen Badger Hospital in Shipston Stour to inform the scrutiny session with the South Warwickshire University NHS Trust on the 27th of August. Who will be attending on the
On the
27th of August.
And the details, including the admin around this, any substitutes, we'll delegate that to officers.
I think so. I don't think
So
that needs to be in the proposal, does
I
it?
think that's fair.
Yeah.
And again, the whole purpose of the visit is fact-finding, to find things, see them on the ground, and make sure we're able to ask meaningful, relevant questions for when they come in on the 27th of August.
And that we would also need, if required, we'll
Oh, well,
need
a competent-
hard hats and...
or any appropriate,
Thank you.
But we would like to access all areas, as somebody once said. Right then, so we've got a proposal from Councillor Wally Hoggins. I think there's somebody might be seconding that. Councillor Lockhart, are you happy to formally second that for me, please?
Yes, Chair, I will second that. Look how few words I used.
I know. Thanks very much. Any other proposals, amendments to this? No? Can we go to the vote? All those in favour? Yeah, unanimous. Thank you. So committee proposes to have a site visit to Ellen Badger Hospital and delegate all the other hard work associated to officers, and we will come back with an appropriate date. So thank you for that. Item number 4, urgent business. I have no urgent business that I've been informed of. No, thank you. So I'll now close the meeting at 10:29. Thank you.